All right, let's go. Well, let's talk about South Carolina. So, as you know, there were a ton of people out there, mostly on the left fringe, who were talking about that people aren't motivated to for Joe Biden. As you know, there are also people who are saying that black voters aren't or black men are not as pumped to turn out for Joe Biden. And today seemed to unravel that entire misinformation campaign.
Yeah, well, MSNBC is notorious for pushing this narrative, and I just did a TikTok about the special that they're airing tomorrow, which is going to be about Black men in America and how they vote, right? And so there's been clips that have been circulating about this, and the subject of Donald Trump is always a tricky one because we know that there are some black folks who support Donald Trump. Is it a great big number? No, I think in 2024 it was about 88% of black men that supported Donald Trump. I mean, sorry, reverse that. That supported Joe Biden, and about 12% that supported Donald Trump. Okay, fine. That's not as good of numbers as black women, but to say that black men don't support Joe Biden or the Democrats is BS. Let's put that to rest right there. Now, can that change in 2024? Absolutely. But this has been the talk of MSNBC all day. Every time they do something in South Carolina, they're like, is it going to be enthusiasm today? Are the black voters going to show up today? It's like, dude, relax, okay? Calm down and let's see what happens. First of all, in South. My thing with this is that this is like a non-primary. I'm sorry. This is like a non-primary. This would be, we only have to have this primary because a couple of Democrats decided they wanted to run against Joe Biden. Okay,
Yep.
fine. And we know those two of them are Marianne Williamson, the Crystal Lady, and Dean Phillips, Gargamel. I'm just going to call him Gargamel because that's what he
That's
acts
fine.
that he drives me crazy. And I know you like to joke on him. I would like to just forget he even exists. So I'm going to
Uh-huh.
let you have your fun and go at him about the fact that I saw your video where he did not win anything and he got like maybe like 5,000 votes, if that.
How do you come a close third to Marianne
I don't
Williamson
know.
when Dean Phillips was in South Carolina? It's like the more you see Dean Phillips, the less you like him. And that's I mean that's true for me. Like the more I heard about this guy, I'm like initially I was like, who the fuck is this dude? Like no idea. Thank you. Oh, that was for you. That's for you, Tiff. I was
Thank you.
like, who the hell is Dean Phillips? Why is he in the race? And sure enough, the more you're exposed to him, the less appealing he is. And I guess South Carolina voters thought the same thing, because we saw that video where he was like, "Everyone, please settle down. If you wouldn't mind settling down, so I could talk for 2 minutes." And people were like, "I'm just gonna go over here while you talk." Marianne
My,
Williamson, did she even show herself in the
I
state?
don't know that he should even showed up that day.
Yeah, and she got 2% to his 1.6%. It's it's embarrassing as heck. Sorry, the dogs are gonna go crazy now. Joe Biden is getting 96.4% of the vote, 77% reporting, 111,717 votes. Now, a lot of the folks who want to downplay this victory are going to say, well, of course he's the incumbent. What a surprise that the incumbent won. It's not about the incumbent. It's about all the stuff that people were talking about with respect to the whether or not voters are energized, and they
Right.
are. This just shows that he's winning by he's grabbing larger margins in the counties. Even though he won every county in 2020, the gap of victory is way wider. He's getting way more of the vote than he ever did in 2020. So South Carolina once again showing the world, like, yeah, we're solidly behind Joe Biden, and if anything, our support is more enthusiastic than it was in 2020.
Right. And think about this. Honestly, people are saying, well, I've seen some things on Twitter that the brief time that I went on there, but I saw some people saying like, oh, that he didn't have the turnout that he did in 2020. Hello, you're comparing apples and oranges. In 2020, there was an actual primary where
Right.
it was competitive. You still at that point had Biden in the race, who was endorsed by Jim Clyburn, which everyone was like, oh my God. Bernie Sanders was still in the race at that time. I believe, what's the guy that danced? I forget his name, the business guy. He
The
was,
business guy that danced?
yeah, that he was running for president from California. I cannot think of his name.
I don't remember his
Yeah,
name.
he had Juvenile at his primary
Oh
party.
God.
I
Oh, the really nerdy guy, right? No, no,
Yeah,
no. Wait.
I can't remember. Anyways, I'm gonna
Okay, yeah.
remember. Somebody will remind me in the comments. But he was still in the race.
Tom
This
Steyer?
Tom Steyer. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I forget he exists. Thank you, Isaiah.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you, Isaiah.
he was still in the race. I think he ended up coming in like fourth or fifth or whatever. There was still Elizabeth Warren was still in the race.
Yep.
Biden won. Okay. And that changed the trajectory of the entire landscape after that. I think Pete Buttigieg was still in the race too. And Amy
No, he
Klobuchar.
dropped out. He
That didn't
they
they drop out? Didn't they drop out right before? I think they dropped out before
Yeah,
Texas.
right before.
Before today, like they lost, and then they were like cut the ties. And because I remember Saturday, I was in New York. I came home Sunday night. I think Pete and Amy dropped out. Tuesday, they ended up going to Texas to help Joe Biden and endorse him. So it was like a crazy like string of events that happened in 2020 that led up to that him winning. But this is not the same situation. We have one candidate who's an incumbent, and then we have these two people who no one cares about that is running against him. And this is where we are. So some people didn't want to come out. I mean, some people don't even come out for midterms, but a lot of people came out just because we changed it to the first state, which was a big effing deal, right? It was a great thing that we changed to South Carolina being the first state. So people wanted to make sure their voice was heard. And it looks like about 200,000, I don't know what the latest numbers were, had turned out the last time I looked. And hopefully it'll end up being somewhere around like 250,000, which is much different than 2020 when I think 500,000 turned out. Who cares? Who cares? Joe Biden is the person that's on the ticket. And we're going to see this in every single state that people are going to turn out. The diehard Democrats who vote in primaries are going to show up. And that's all that matters. That doesn't have anything to do with the general election. And on MSNBC, they were saying that most people feel like we are now in general election mode, the people that they were interviewing. This is now general election mode. Yeah, the primary's done. Let's move on and get this out the way so that we can have this general election and beat Donald Trump. That's all they care about. So.
Sorry, I was just taking a diet soda break. Yeah, and I mean, to their credit, the fact that they made South Carolina the first on the primary calendar, and they didn't take votes for granted. Like, yeah, they're going to win the primary anyway, but Joe Biden, Kamala Harris went to South Carolina, made sure to, shore up support, make sure that they're not taking any vote for granted. They're doing exactly what they need to do. Like, they're not going to show up like after, into general election season and start talking to folks. Like, they are out there and just making sure, like, hey, we're working for everybody here. And look, we're here. I think they're doing a great job of making their presence known and showing folks that they are looking to earn every vote.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's the name of the game, right? VP was in South Carolina yesterday. Biden was there, I believe, earlier in the week. So it's not like we've abandoned South Carolina. South Carolina is a state that we know is a big deal for the primary. For the general election, it's a different story. There's a lot of Republicans that live in the state. And so this is their time to shine, and we should let them shine. 60% of the vote, I believe, is Black for Democrats. Let them shine. Let them have their moment in the sun. And next we move on to Nevada, which is Tuesday, right?
Yep.
I think it's Tuesday. Yeah.
I think it's Tuesday. Let me just double check that.
I believe it's Tuesday. Yeah, that was great, Isaiah. No protesters yesterday. It looks like it's been diminished a little bit, but we'll see. Did you find it?
And so now we can talk about the other good news that the Biden-Harris administration got, and that was about the economy. the jobs report came out for January, and it added a blockbuster 353,000 jobs, almost double what the forecast was. The forecast, the expectation was going to be what, $180,000. I'm sorry, 180,000 jobs.
185,000 was what they predicted.
And then December got revised up to 333,000. That's amazing, amazing. Like there, what was it? So far, so the wage growth has grown, was 4.5% all last year, which far outpaced the inflation rate of 3.4%. And also, the unemployment rate was forecasted that it was going to land at 3.8% at the end of the year, and it ended up holding steady at 3.7. So I think, was it Stephen Colbert that made fun of the pundits? I think because everyone kept saying it's a Goldilocks kind of economy. Like they're just running with that. It's like Goldilocks, Goldilocks. But I mean, finally, like, the media is catching up and they're like, oh shit, and even Fox News, like Trump friendly news organizations, they can't run away from it, because it's not just, the jobs numbers that are amazing. We found out GDP growth. Before that, we found out consumer sentiment. Before that, the stock market had a record-breaking day, like the best it ever did. Because I think before that it was Biden, and then before that it was Trump. I think that's how the top three performances were. But yeah, there's not much to complain about on the Republican side.
Well, it was funny when Fox News, they had like a panel. Did you see that video where they had the panel? And then they were reading they said, okay, well, we'll see what these job numbers look like. And then they read it, and then they were like stunned. They didn't know what to say, because
right.
Guess what? He is beating expectations.
Yep.
And you can't deny that. You cannot deny the expectations. Because honestly, I looked at it Friday night. I was like, oh, is jobs report coming out? I'm like, yeah, we might be at like 250,000. When I saw 353,000, I was like, holy crap. Even I was stunned. Because I didn't expect for there to be that many jobs in the 1 month. It just surprised me. So I think people take that for granted. A couple other stats that I was able to pull together. So we have created 14.8 million jobs since 2021. A lot of people try to downplay that and say, well, some of those jobs were jobs that were recovered. Okay, yeah, that's true. But those jobs may have never come back if there wasn't any Biden. Let's be real about that.
Right, exactly.
They weren't back. We had already been almost 1 year into the pandemic at that point, and we were still in recovery. We didn't get back to full employment until 2022. So right now, these are actual jobs that are being added to our economy, which is impressive. We know that there's a ton of jobs that were created in manufacturing, hence why Joe Biden got the endorsement of the UAW this past week. These things matter, right? When we talk about unemployment, we're at 3.7%. When Biden took office, we were at 6.3% for January of 2021. So we have cut that almost in half. Black unemployment was at 5.3%. This report, when Biden took office and Trump left in January 2021, it was 9.2%. 5% for there was all people talking about Hispanic in the comments. 5% is where the Hispanic unemployment is. You know what it was in January 2021? 8.6%.
Damn.
You cannot sit here and tell me that we are not making progress in this economy, because if you do, you're lying. Wages are up 4.5% since January. Small businesses are on pace to be the fastest growth in 30 years for Black businesses, 20 years for Hispanics. The Black unemployment did not drop didn't go above 6%. It was below 6% for the entire of 2023. That has never happened before. Okay, that is a record. So when people are talking about our economy, they are not understanding how our economy thrives and works. And people can say, "Oh, interest rates are high." Well, we know that the Feds have already said that interest rates are going to be steady and eventually at some point hopefully drop. So I am tired of people saying that the economy is not doing what it's supposed to do. I don't have any money. Maybe you should go look for a better job. There are jobs out there that you can get that need where people need assistance. Go find one. Maybe you're being lowballed by your employer. Have you ever thought about that? They're screwing you
Yeah.
over.
And
There's things.
interest. Sorry, and I was going to say, no, no, go ahead, go ahead. Sorry, I
Yeah,
interrupted what you were about to
I
say.
mean, listen, there's a lot. And let's talk about this as well, because a lot of people like to talk about stocks. Well, stock market had 2-day highs of the S&P Thursday and Friday. And what was bringing that up? Oh yeah, that's right. The news on jobs. So there is a lot happening that people are not aware of. If you watch the news, you're not going to get a lot of this information where people are going through feelings and not based on facts of what is happening. And for people to say, well, I had more money under Trump, I don't see how that's very possible. I have way more money than I did now than I had 4 years or 3.5 years ago.
Same,
Like,
same.
I don't know who these people are. I mean, like I said, unless you are not working, you are not getting paid as you should. That is not a Joe Biden problem. That could be a local problem. That could be a state problem. That can be an employer problem. Your gas has nothing to do with Joe Biden, even though we like to make fun of it. You know what I mean? We as in Democrats and Joe Biden is trying to work on the equity problem so that people can get what they deserve. Not, and let's not even go there with the whole DEI nonsense, but this is where we are. People deserve equity, and I'm so tired of the nonsense and lies that are being spewed out there, and a lot of people just don't know this information, and that's why we're here.
And even if you don't know the information, the simplest thing that I could tell you is like, listen to what the Republicans are no longer complaining about. That's the big tell. Because Republicans are no longer saying this is a bad economy. The Republicans are no longer talking about that there's a recession. They're not talking about inflation being so high anymore. They've kind of taken their foot off of the gas when it comes to complaining about that particular portion of it, which is why they don't have a lot to complain about, which is the reason why they're not trying to give Joe Biden a bill that would be the most comprehensive border security bill in a generation, because they need something to complain about. So they want to complain about the border. They don't want to do anything about it because it's really the one thing that they have. So I understand, especially the folks on the very, very far left are always talking about it's not enough for you to just tell me you're afraid of Republicans, and what are Democrats going to do for you? Republicans are literally just telling people, or Donald Trump is, I want revenge on my political opponents, um, and that's basic. Oh, and then they complain about the border. That's really it. They don't talk about what their plans are, what they really are planning to do with the economy, how they plan to replace the ACA. Everything is just basically their pitch is horrible to their voters. It's not bread and butter issues. So what are they offering their voters? Because I mean, clear as day, they just want to take rights away. We know that, and they've already done that with Roe. Now they want to ban they want to ban reproductive rights federally. We know they wanted to cut Social Security and Medicare. They want to raise the retirement age for younger folks. I mean, what exactly are they offering? I don't understand what is.
I could tell you what they're offering. It starts with the R and ends with the ism. Okay,
Yep.
that is what they're offering to their people. If we're just keeping it real, their only thing that they have to offer is that, and they're not afraid to say that, right? They know what they're trying to do, and it's not any different than what they did in 2016. They didn't even have a plan in 2020. They had, at least in 2020, Trump's record to try to run on. He's been out of office for 3 years. There's really nothing that they can use. other than going back to his old record, which Joe Biden has succeeded him like way more in terms of the economy. So what can you sell to the people to
Right.
make them decide, okay, well, I'm going to vote for Biden. I mean, I'm going to vote for Trump over Biden. There's only a couple of things that could make you, if you believe what they're saying about the border, and you feed into that xenophobia, then yeah, you may say that this is the guy for me. You may be in a cult and you may not realize it, that you are listening to the every word of Donald Trump, and you are being played. You are being
Right.
played for a fool. And
Right, because I'm sorry to interrupt, but if you rewind, like what, 4 years ago, or I'm sorry, 6 years ago, they had control of all three chambers. What happened? Why couldn't we get something
oh,
done?
Oh, we know what got done. We got tax cuts for the rich. I mean,
Yep.
this was their priority. Their priority was cutting taxes for the rich, and people are complaining about how much taxes they're going to have to pay, but they're not going to blame anybody. They're not going to blame Trump. They're going to blame
Right.
someone else, Biden probably, but that is the Republican tax bill. It it was not meant to be for the people at the bottom or in the middle. It was meant to be for the people at the top so that they could get a tax cut. And they're probably going to start talking about tax cuts again. Like, we're not stupid. Like, they have no social programs that they are, if anything, they want to cut social programs right now. They want to
Right.
cut they want to cut SNAP. They don't even want to give kids like summer lunches in
Yep.
some of the states. Like, this is the craziness of what they're doing. And people are like, yeah, I'll vote for Trump. I'm sorry, if you're voting for Trump, like I said, you may be in a cult. I'm sorry to tell you this. You need to really figure out what it is that you're
Get
voting for.
deprogrammed. You need to
Yeah,
get deprogrammed.
please get
You need
deprogrammed
McAfee. You
ASAP.
need something. You need some kind
Yeah,
of.
because did you see, so let's pivot a little bit. Did you see these people that are going down to the border with these convoys?
Isaiah, we will get to that. I promise. That's on the itinerary. Isaiah asked, "How come no one's talking about the child
Yeah,
tax
we'll
credits?"
get to
We
those
will be talking
before.
about that.
I mean, we
Go
can
ahead.
talk
No, no,
about it
go.
now. We can talk about it now if you want, before we go to the border, because
Okay.
this
All
these
right.
people are crazy.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I saw someone in the comments says, "Well, you can tell no one here lives in a border state." I live in California. Like, that's a border state. Like, just in a few hours, you're in Tijuana. So I don't know what you're talking about. But all right. So the House voted on Wednesday night, to pass a $78 billion bipartisan tax package that would temporarily expand the child tax credit and restore a number of business tax benefits. Mike Johnson who oversees a razor thin majority in the House. And even though there's like a razor thin majority, the bill sailed through in rare bipartisan support. The vote was 357 to 70. 188 Democrats voted for it. 169 Republicans. I'm sorry, 188 Democrats and 169 Republicans voted in favor. 23 Democrats and 47 Republicans opposed it. However, we did get word that there's going to be an obstacle, and that obstacle is the Senate. And I guess it's important to understand what Republicans are fighting against, because what they're fighting against is a tax deal that would provide a larger credit in the first year to low income families of roughly 16 million children, or more than 80% of those who currently don't receive the full credit because their families earn too little. They're fighting against a package that would lift at least 500,000 children out of poverty and improve the financial situation of about 5 million more kids who would remain below the poverty line. They're fighting against a deal that would temporarily restore several business tax benefits that recently ended or have begun to phase out. And the reason they ended was because, you know, your boy Trump put an end date on it. For the rich, he was like, no, 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 we can leave that shit forever. But for small business owners, for middle class, he's like, nope, you guys get cut off right away. So this bill would restore that. They're fighting against allowing businesses to immediately deduct the cost of their US based research and experimentation investments instead of over 5 years, as well as restore their ability to immediately deduct 100% of their investment in machinery and equipment. So a pretty good bill that came out of the House. It was impressive that it got the bipartisan support that it did. Like 188 Democrats to 106 and 169 Republicans supporting this bill. That is That's great. What is wrong with that? Why is the Senate now saying that they are not looking to push this forward? And I'm sorry, I don't mean the Senate. Republicans. Let's
Yeah,
keep it accurate, right?
Senate Republicans. Let's go with that. Yeah, well, they know again that it would be a win for Biden. People getting money, more money. Well, who would be mad at that, right? Who would be mad at that? I know people that were getting, $700 a month for having like two or three kids. I think it was like $350 like every month or so per kid. So I mean, that is a lot of money that helped people through the pandemic to be able to pay for childcare, to be paid for groceries. This is what they don't want. They don't want Biden to get credit for anything that will help actual people. And it is still capped at a certain amount for, I believe, I haven't read the bill in totality, but I believe it still has caps on actual, like the amounts for pay. So if you make like $75,000 and you're a single parent or you're a single tax filer,
Right.
you're eligible for a certain amount.
Yeah, it's not.
I
Yeah,
think I think the
it's
only
not
thing that
applied to everyone.
it's not the amount isn't as high as it was in 2022 or like 21 to 2022 when we passed the COVID Act, but it is still a good bill that would help a lot of people. And Republicans don't want to technically help. I am surprised though, because I know Mitt Romney was trying to do a bill himself on child tax credit. Why do you hate families so much that you do not
Right.
want to help them?
And
I don't.
these benefits were originally part of the Republicans' 2017 tax cuts and jobs act. Like, so what is the problem here? You guys initially like proposed some of this stuff. So why are you not for it now? The only reason, of course, because this, like the border bill, it's giving Republicans a big chunk of what they want, right? But because we're in an election year, because Trump wants to have leverage against Joe Biden, they're basically saying to families, F you, we are not going to do anything about it. They're the ones that were crying about the border. They're telling voters, F you, we don't care for the next year until Donald Trump is elected, if he's elected, which is a big gamble, because this is the best deal that you're going to get, even if Donald Trump is elected president, because there's no way his extreme version of border security is ever going to clear the Congress. It's just not going to happen. So they're preventing the country from securing our border. They're preventing the country from getting these tax cuts that Republicans initially proposed in 2017. Why? Just because they want to win an election. That is the crazy, like, how are you not
It's reckless.
incensed by it? Like,
It's reckless. It's
yeah,
okay. If you're a Republican and you put these people into let's say I'm gonna go with West Virginia. Let's use West Virginia, right? You have two senators. You have Joe Manchin and you have I think her name is Capito, right? I think that's the
yeah,
other one. So you have a Republican and you have a somewhat of a Democrat. Most people in West Virginia are struggling. Okay, a lot of people are in poverty. They have a very high poverty rate. You think that those people wouldn't want that child tax credit? Are you crazy? Of course they would. They would take that money. They will still vote for Donald Trump no matter what. Donald Trump is going to get the votes no matter what. Joe Manchin is likely going to be kicked out of office. But those people will have $300 in their pocket that they may not have had because of this bill. And that to me is evil, for you to just say to those people, well, I'm not giving you any money because we need to win this. Excuse me? Are you kidding me? I don't understand how this makes any logical sense, but I do understand politics and I get why they don't want to do it. But it doesn't make sense because those people put you in there to do something for this country and to make their lives better, not to destroy. But that's what they want to do. And it's really disheartening to know that people are suffering. If you care about inflation and you're saying that everything is so high and the cost of living is high and rent is high and all these different things, then why on earth would you just say, you know what, forget this? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
And Anne in the comments just said, this is exactly the reason why you Democrats are losing. And I got to bring you back from the clouds and get your feet firmly planted on the ground, because MAGA has been losing elections since 2018. Just FYI. Just MAGA won 2016, and that was the first and last time you guys won. 2018 sucked for you guys. 2020, even worse. 2022, what happened to the red wave? I did not see a red wave. And now you guys can't even afford 2 people to defect in the House because your majority is basically in name only. Democrats are basically controlling that shit. So this has not panned out well for the MAGA brand. I understand that there's enough of you guys to nominate people in primaries. I get that. Like, you guys really do have a lot of folks, so you can nominate the people that you want to nominate in a primary. But when it comes to an actual election, Democrat versus Republican, you guys have been losing repeatedly, often, like in a humiliating fashion. And Donald Trump's brand has been an anchor on the party, but you guys are like, oh no, please let us drown. Like, we want to stay at the bottom of the sea with Donald Trump. And I am more than happy to let you guys sink. Like I've said in my other lives, I have endorsed Donald Trump to be the Republican nominee in 2024, in 2028, in 2032, in 2036, in 2040, forever. Just please, like, bring that man, like, into, like, out of the spirit world, have a seance and put him in a suit and have him campaign around the country once God calls him up, if that's where he's going. So I mean, just keep doing that, because he is great for Democratic turnout.
Yeah. He is the person that people know. When I was watching that interview with the clip from that special that's going to be on tomorrow on MSNBC, people said, we know who Donald Trump is. And the fact that people don't know a Nikki Haley, they didn't know a Ron DeSantis, but they know who Trump is. They know what kind of man he is. This is a man that has 91 charges against him. And he is going to fight for his life in court on 4 different cases this year, if we even get to any of them this year. But listen, this is who they love. He is their, as I like to say, he is their cult daddy, and they are going to be with him to the end of time. He could be literally running from jail, and they would be like, all hail Trump. Like, this is what they do. And it's sad, but it's reality of the situation where we are in politics. And he's going to win South Carolina crazily.
It's going to be nuts.
Like 70% of the vote, and Nikki Haley probably get like 20-something%. And she's still going to stick around. I mean, we've had conversations about this every week. We don't know what Nikki Haley's going to do, but we know that she's in it. And did you see that she tried to come for Kamala this week?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yes. She came for Kamala this week with her same talking
was
points.
it on that show?
It was on a show. I don't remember which one. I think it was a Fox News show. And she basically tried to come for Kamala and say, oh, well, if something happens to Joe Biden, then Kamala Harris would be the president. And my response is, and who cares? Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. It was the Breakfast Club that she was on.
that's the show I was talking about. Yeah.
I forget those people exist. I try at least. And she comes and she says this, and then she's talking about Obama, and she's saying all these things about, Obama created, division in this country, and she doesn't believe in voting for Kamala because Kamala is, she doesn't have the experience. She actually, if you go to my page on my post, my pinned tweet, she gives the same exact lines that she gave in that interview as she does in this interview, and everything.
Oh yeah, she recycles.
Yeah, she's a recycler for sure. Yeah. She's like, it's like a whole like thing.
She can't even paraphrase herself,
Yeah,
which is
it's
it's
insane.
word for word.
It's literally word for word, and it's so funny. But everything she said is debunked. She is trying to that's called a dog whistle,
Hmm.
and that's what she's trying to do. She's dog whistling to the people to say, don't vote for Biden because the brown lady, who is also black, may be president one day.
And
Because
that's being
they,
said by a brown
he,
lady.
because he could possibly, not be here, and she would have to take over. And we know what you're saying. We know that what you mean by saying that, and so does the supporters. But Nikki, I need you to look in the mirror, and I need you to see that, honey, you are also a woman, and you are also a brown woman. And you are saying that now. Imagine if Trump was to pick her for VP. People would run the same exact lines on her
Yep.
because she is also there, and she does not have Kamala has way more experience than her to be VP than Nikki does. So she is literally telling on her own self, which is because Trump is not young. Trump is what, 78 years old?
It was like 3 years younger.
Yeah,
Three
Biden
years
is
younger than.
81. So
Mhm.
yeah, Nikki, who are you trying to appeal to? Because you think that your brown self is appealing to the white folks? I don't think so. All they see is a woman and a brown woman, and they're looking at you like you're crazy because you do not have something that Donald Trump has, which is his skin color and a penis, if I could say that.
And why is she going after Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? Girl, you're still in the primary and you're not getting any headway. So why go after your opponent in the contest that you're in? You're already thinking like past this contest, but you're not going to make it out of the primary. So get your head in the game.
And she's not,
So
and she's not, okay, Nevada is crazy. So Nikki Haley is in the primary, but Donald Trump is in the caucus. The caucus is what is going to provide the delegates to the state. So she's never going to win the primary on Tuesday, and she's not even in the caucus. Like, this whole thing makes literally no sense.
it doesn't. It's insane. And you know something you said earlier, I wanted to address when we were talking about like Republicans still rolling with Trump. Trump has threatened to run a third party candidacy every time he's run for president. He threatened it in 2015. He threatened it in 2020. He threatened it in 2024, and they're still rocking with him. It's just
Never going to give up on him.
yeah.
He is they are him, and he is them. And he, as he said, he is so narcissistic. He says that he is running for them. Everything he does is for them. Even though, let's be real, he is using them to be able to try to get out of being put in jail.
Hmm.
But he can't say that. I am doing all of this for you. I'm your savior. Yeah, we know. We know what that means. We know that you are narcissistic and you believe that you are doing this for the people. But no, you're not. You're doing this to save your behind from going to jail because you could potentially pardon yourself from the federal cases if we ever get to that point. And you can actually kill the case, like destroy the case and let the case be gone if you have control of the DOJ, because you will have your prosecutors in there to be able to just say throw out the cases. This is what he wants. We as Democrats and people who care, if you're an independent and you care about this country, you need to vote. There is, and vote Democrat. I don't care if you love Joe Biden. My famous line is, when you vote, you are not voting to marry the person who is in office or you're potentially putting in office or keeping in office. You are voting temporarily to put that person in office. You don't have to be in love with them. You are not marrying them. You are not in a relationship with them. And if you feel like in 4 years that you want somebody new, and in this case, there will be someone new regardless, guess what, guys? There's going to be 20 plus Democrats that you can pick from in 2028. It's likely it's going to be Kamala. It's going to probably be Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, every damn body
Pete
in there.
Buttigieg.
Pete Buttigieg. Um, Maybe Elizabeth will give it another run.
Janet Yellen.
You have everybody and their mama who thinks that their ego is so big, who thinks that they can beat somebody, okay? And we will have a very healthy 2028 primary like we could have had in 2020 if it
Hi,
wasn't
Care
so
Bear.
crazy and we didn't have Trump. We are going to have a bunch of people who are going to run in 2028, and I am looking forward to that. I am actually looking forward to 2028 because I can't think about it now because we got to get through 2024. But if Joe Biden wins, 2028 is gonna be lit, okay?
Hmm.
And I will be here for it because me and Gavin, we are a thing right now, but we may have to break up in
Oh yeah,
2028. And
yeah.
that's gonna break my heart because I run the Gavin Hive, so and that's a joke in itself, but that's a whole
Yep.
Twitter thing. But I will have to break up with
The
him.
Gavin gaggle.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to break up with him because I love Kamala Harris more. And so it will be a very terrible day when that thing happens, but it is what it is. And we will have fun with it. It will be fun. Gavin and Kamala they've known each other for years. And if he decides to run against her, cool. It is gonna be a time. But I am OG K Hive to the death. And I'm a ride for my girl all day, every day. And I love Gretchen Whitmer too. I love Westmore. I love them all. Okay. And it is going to be fun. But for 2024, can we please focus on getting Joe Biden in office? Because 2028 will be hell if we have to deal with a Trump presidency for 4 years and have to clean up his mess in 2028. God damn it.
Exactly. We cannot afford to have. I mean, we'll even have an election in 2028.
Exactly. Will we have an election? That is a great damn thing to say because I don't even know at this point. So that's why your asses need to vote in 2024 for Joe.
Exactly. Get vote for Dark Brandon, Daddy Biden, Auntie Harris. Like vote for them. You don't have to like them, but what they're doing really is historic. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know how you feel about it, but I've said that this is the best administration that I've experienced in my life. They're just super impressive.
We just put in 170, I think 5 judges this week. We have 56 of them are Black people. There is no administration in their first term that has gotten 56 judges, Black judges confirmed in the Senate. Okay. That's historic. Like you said, we're doing historic things that probably piss some people off, but to me, those things matter. That's representation. These are our courts. And you know how I feel about courts. I will pound it all day. Courts matter.
Yeah, of course courts matter. Shit.
All these cases, a lot of these cases that Trump has been going through, they go through that district court level first. Abortion, where do you think it started? In the district court. Then it goes to the appeals court. Then it goes to the Supreme Court. Civics, guys, we need to have more people on the lower level of courts to be able to deal with some of these cases that Republicans are putting on the docket. I mean, they're literally going to start putting everything on the docket that they disagree with. You think affirmative action didn't take many, many years to be taken away? They put that, I think they started that case in 2017. It took years. The same, the Dobbs case, that started in, I think, 2018. I have a whole video on that. It is years that these people play the long game. Can we Democrats play the long game, please? And stop doing this. Well, he didn't give me what I wanted right now. Okay, what about in 5 years? What are we going to do then? What rights will we have in 5 years if Trump is elected and he puts another person on the court? Please tell me. Please tell me. I would love for somebody to tell me how that works. And as a person who cares about the courts, I vote specifically for courts. I could go on about this all day, but we don't got all night. So,
I mean, I can go all night if you need me to.
yeah, I know you can. I'm sure you can, Jose. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of where we are, and I just feel like people take for granted what the Biden-Harris administration is doing, and it's all about them. It's all about the selfish stuff. I'm not going to vote because you didn't give me my student loans. I'm not going to vote because I don't like the way you're handling Gaza. I don't like the way you're hugging Israel. There's 100 million things that people can come up with for
Yep.
what they don't want to vote for. But can you tell me what you are willing to vote for? Because I'm willing to vote for my rights. I care about my rights. I care about my daughter's rights. I care about my husband's rights. I care about my nephew who's 4 years old, who in a couple of years will be here much longer than I will be on this earth. And I would really, really like for him to have, clean air to breathe, and have, rights that he can be able to do things in this country. I think about people that are LGBTQ, their rights. There is so much that people are taking for granted.
Sorry,
All of
Mr.
these,
Yoshi. Mr. Yoshi in the comments is saying Jose the type of guy that has you smoking 3 cigs after.
yes, he would.
I don't know that we'd have time to smoke 3 cigarettes. We're still.
You'll be asleep, but just letting you know. There's no smoking. Jose will be smoking, not you, honey. Yeah.
Oh God. I got my mind off track
Yeah,
and onto something
there's
else.
always going to be some kind of sexual connotation that happens in this arena every single time. In this live, always going to be something that it always goes to. But I'm gonna play along tonight. How about that?
I love it. Speaking of deficiencies with Republicans and Republicans versus Democrats, you are the queen of financials. And you saw they were released this week. So what is a good rundown? Like, what are the treetops? We know the RNC is
broke.
So what else is going on in that arena?
At this point, they need a loan. They're broke. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. The money train is not coming to the RNC. It's just kind of stagnant. They are literally spending more than they bring in. Their burn rate is absolutely insane. I don't know how they're going to help anyone. Trump, he is spending a lot of money on his cases with the money that he's getting in. He has money. He has enough money to sustain him through the election. But is he spending money on his campaign? I don't even know at this point. I really have no idea.
Right. It's on legal fees, and the guy's just distracted. He's missing a step when he's talking. I don't know how this sets him up for a successful run.
I don't care. Let them be broke. Like, this is
no. I'm all for it. I'm just saying,
Did you see that Biden had his best fundraising month in January? Dude is raking in the dough, as we would say. I guess I'm old for saying that, but he is definitely bringing in a lot of money. The more he attacks Trump, the more he will be getting money. People want to see Joe Biden fight. We had a whole conversation on Twitter this week about Plies, if anybody knows who the rapper Plies is. So Plies said, he made this video. There was a whole lot of curses in there, a lot of MFers. But the point of the video was to say that Biden and Harris need to brag more. Yep. And I agree with him. I actually agree with him. But I will say Biden and Kamala do brag, but the media it does not allow them to shine. Okay, there's a whole apparatus that we are missing when it comes to this. What I love about Biden is him being real, being himself, being in a moment where he is talking to people, and he's just Joe. He's like they say, he's your average Joe. He's going to say something quirky. He's gonna make you laugh. And I've asked the campaign, can you please put out testimonials? Can you please put out videos of us seeing Joe Biden in those moments? And I have to say, they listen to me, because I've seen more and more of those videos. There's the one with the guy from Wisconsin, a black business owner. He's in the car. The guy is riding with him in.
Oh yeah, they're like this.
Yeah, no, that's actually, this is a second one. He's done another one.
Okay.
He did another one in Wisconsin. He didn't do this, but that one is from this week. And he's talking to him about his business, and he does plumbing, and it's a great video. Oh my God, I put it on my page. It's so good. That was the first one. Then this week we had the video, and then we had the video of the family. Oh, the kids took the video of him going to the family's house in North Carolina, and how happy those kids were. The dad was happy. There was a news story on it. That's what I want to see. Then this week we saw him with the guy who was in the picture like that, who was also a small business owner who got to ride in what is his car called? I can't remember. The Beast.
The Beast.
He got to ride in the Beast with Joe Biden, and he was so happy. And there was a lot. And there's a really good CNN article about it. I hope there's a video coming out about it soon, and it shows Joe Biden. There's also the video of him in the bar, which is fun.
Oh yeah,
in Wisconsin, where he's like drinks on me, and he's talking to people, taking selfies. Then there was also the video of him in South Carolina at the barbershop, which was really good. And he tells the lady who's owning it, because she's talking, he's like, "You should be labor secretary." That is so Joe. That's
amazing.
That's him in his element, taking selfies, and that's the Joe Biden that I want to see. I want to see that Joe Biden. I think that's what the people want to see. They don't standing behind a podium and saying I pass so and so and so is not going to connect with the people. Trump has none of those skills. He has no people skills. He has screaming skills, fighting skills, petty skills, but he does not have people skills to be able to talk to people and have a good conversation and make them laugh, and like in a serious way, and have fun. He can make them laugh being crass, but he doesn't have the ability to have that fun interaction. And Kamala too, right? I saw a video of her where she was talking to a Latina woman she owned a bakery, and she was connecting with her, and she was saying, I'm so happy to meet Kamala Harris, and they're sitting down, they're talking. That's what I want to see. The videos, like Pi said, of Joe with his Corvette. Love that video. I think we all love that video that he did. There was also there's a video of Kamala Harris dancing at her house for the hip hop 50th celebration, where she's dancing and having fun. We are tired of politicians. We are tired of the suited politician who is out there and is, just reciting lines. We want to see real people doing real things and connecting. And yes, there are still politicians, but you don't have to be a stuffy politician. You can be a fun politician who is getting ish done.
And then speaking of connecting with people and having folks see how the president connects with people, cynics might say, okay, well, those are campaign events. They're designed to be filmed, to go viral. At least that would be the purpose. But I mean, there was a moment when Joe Biden called the parents of the fallen soldier who was killed in that attack in Jordan. He called the parents. It was Breonna Moffat's parents, and she was a specialist, but she was promoted to sergeant. And the phone call, I think, lasted like 6-7 minutes. Mm-hmm. And they were recording it because it was President Joe Biden that was calling, so it was recorded on their end. And you see how Joe Biden really has that skill to connect with people on that kind of level. Like these parents just found out maybe when they received the call, like not even 72 hours that their daughter had been killed. The body wasn't even back in the States. And he made them laugh on that call. He made them laugh, and it was just so touching. He announced that they promoted her. I can't say this word, posthumously. Is that how you say it?
Posthumously, I think.
No, I know I'm not saying it right. It's almost there, but anyway. So they promoted her from specialist to sergeant, and it was just such a touching video, because he also explains, like, a lot of parents don't know what this feels like. I lost Bo because of the what he did in Iraq and the cancer that he got from the burn pits. And he explains that, I also lost my daughter and my first wife. But, trust me, there will be a day where you are reminded of your daughter, and you might smell something, you might see something, and I promise you that you're going to smile before you cry. And I was like, oh man, that is,
that was balling. My friend Renee sent that video from you. You had like retweeted the video, mm-hmm. and then she sent it to me. And it was like 12:30, almost 1:00 on this side of the country, unlike you guys in California. And I was in my bed bawling, seeing that video. And if you haven't seen the 6-minute video of Joe Biden, it's on my page. I'm very upset with TikTok because my video was cooking on, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday I think it was Wednesday when I posted it. And then they were like, no, we're not putting it back on the For You page because of nudity. I'm like, nudity? What are you
I
talking
saw
about?
that. I was like, what the hell? Where was the
Yeah.
nudity? And you know, I was like, let me try to put it. Within 30 seconds of posting it, it was like, this will not be on anyone's FYP. This will only be. I'm like, what?
And then
So
they
I
put
took it down.
Yeah, and then 12 weeks, 12, well, not 12 weeks, 12 hours later, they put it back. They put it back. So if you want to share it now, you can share it now.
Oh,
But
okay, good.
now,
Yeah,
it now
definitely.
can be on the For You page, which somehow that happened, which was really weird. But the video is really touching. If you haven't watched the video, please go watch it. If you're following me on Twitter, you can find it. If you are on, or if you go to the AJC page, that's who was filming it. Give it a view, and that is the real Biden. Like you said, he made them cry, he made them laugh. He even gave them his phone number to his office, which he was trying to
Yep.
give. He didn't even realize he was being filmed, and
Right.
let me give you the number, and he started to, and the mother was like, hold on, we have people in the room, so let's, and then you hear them come back, and he's like, unfortunately, they don't let me have a phone, and everybody started cracking up laughing because it was the number to his office. So I think it's really touching to understand, kind of who Joe Biden is as a person. You can say all the things that you want to say about Joe Biden from back in the days. He was, people say he's a segregationist, the crime bill, the this, the that. We are in 2024, people. You're living in
Yep.
the past. Stop the nonsense and live for the future of what we need to do to be able to protect our children, our lives, and the people we love. So stop the foolishness already. Those things have been over litigated over the years. It's exhausting. You can hate him all you want, but at the end of the day, you know that man is not a bad man. So stop your nonsense.
And speaking of nonsense, or foolishness, there has been a House representative who has been allegedly caught in some foolishness and being investigated by the DOJ. Miss Abolish the police herself.
Cori. When that news came out that there was a subpoena on the floor, I was like, oh boy, who is it? Then they said it was about security, and I'm like, must be Cori Bush.
Yep.
They're like, oh yeah, by the way, it's Cori Bush. I'm like, yeah, about that. You make your boyfriend your security, you pay him a bunch of money, you end up marrying him, and he's getting paid like $60,000. You also have another security company. Your boyfriend slash husband does not have a security firm license. This
Correct.
is a hot mess. Like, what were you thinking, girl?
I don't know, but what I will say this is useful for is for the MAGA folks, right? For all the MAGA folks that are like, this is Joe Biden's DOJ, this is a witch hunt, they just want to go after MAGA. Well, guess what? They're investigating a Democrat, and it's worth investigating. So we'll see what happens as a result of this investigation. The facts will be unfolding eventually, but it's definitely not a good look. I mean, and I know that it's not illegal to pay your husband. It's not illegal to pay a family member, but when your husband doesn't have a license to do security in the state, is not listed on the Homeland security list to be able to do security, something's off. So
Yeah, she just made him she should have just made him her secretary, her
yeah,
assistant. I mean, this is not hard. I mean, like you said,
no,
people all the time where they have someone in their family helping to run their. I mean, Joe Biden's sister helps him to run his all of his campaigns except for the last one. There are people that in your family that can help you with that. You have to file the paperwork correctly, like you said.
right.
And yeah, the squad is not defending her. They're not stupid. I saw they were saying in the comments. Yeah, they're not defending her. What is there to defend? She is proved innocent until proven guilty, and she hasn't even been charged. Let's be clear about this. She has not been charged with anything. They're just doing an
A
investigation,
criminal probe.
a criminal probe, criminal investigation. The FEC was on this a couple of months ago. So she's getting the same treatment because guess what? No one is above the law. The same way that Bob Menendez, who's also a Democrat, is not above the law. He has been indicted, and I wish he would resign.
Gold Bar Bob.
My guy, Gold Bar Bob. That's his name. I made that up, and I will forever call him that because I am sick of him. Go Andy Kim. If you live in New Jersey, vote for Andy Kim. End of story. But yeah, these people are not above the law. George Santos is not above the law. He is going to pay. He actually got kicked out. And they should not do that until there is an ethics review for anyone in the House and it comes back and people agree. But we cannot allow people to break the law. End of story. So the same accountability that George Santos got and Donald Trump is getting, anyone who breaks the law in the Congress should have the same results. We've had multiple people that have been indicted before. They resigned because they had some common sense.
And we as we're talking about Republican foolishness and I guess Republican indecency, we can let's talk about Elise Stefanik. What happened with her this week, where she reportedly scrubbed portions of her site. So what she did was anything before the year 2023 is gone from her site. And why is it gone? Because when January 6th happened, she released a statement that said, "This is a truly tragic day for America. I fully condemn the dangerous violence and destruction that occurred that day at the United States Capitol. Americans have a constitutional right to protest and freedom of speech, but violence in any form is absolutely unacceptable and anti-American. The perpetrators of this un-American violence and destruction must be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law." Isn't she one of the ones that called them hostages?
She is the person that called them hostages on MSNBC to Kristen Welker. She is trying to become VP. That's the only thing I got to say about that.
And she took that statement off her website. So anything before 2023 is scrubbed from it. And the reason it got scrubbed is because I know a lot of folks like her. I'm like, okay, she's useful for certain things, but I don't fuck with her. Is because on the 23rd of January, Lynn Cheney tweeted that, Stefanik had issued this statement on January 6th about the rioters, and it linked to the press release. But soon after that tweet went out, that the site was down. And all the press releases from before 2023 are gone.
Oh, convenience. How convenient.
So crazy. And, good for Lynn Cheney for doing that. I'm not going to be over here giving her a bunch of props. She's still one of the most conservative. If I'm not mistaken, she's more conservative than Elise Stefanik in her vote.
Yeah, Elise Stefanik is a fraud, but we're not going to go there. She was not as conservative as she says she is. She is literally, she became conservative so she was conservative, but she became more conservative so that she can become part of leadership. She became more conservative to kiss Donald Trump's behind so that she can potentially be VP. Do these Republicans think we can't see what they're doing? We can see. It's right there. I mean, it's
like from Ramaswamy to Stefanik to Carrie Lake to Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're just so thirsty for the attention. They're so thirsty for the stench of loser. Why? Why are you so thirsty to stink like a loser? I don't understand it. They've been losing elections since 2018. It's been a steady drip of losses, and why align yourself with someone who continues to lose?
Elise might be in trouble if there will be redistricting in New York, and literally Democrats can kind of redraw that district if she wants to play games. So she probably should just chill a little bit. I know she thinks she did something with the whole that hearing that they had, and they ended up getting the women who were, from Harvard and MIT, and she thought she did something. But honestly, she's just a hack. Like she's literally just a hack to me, and I truly cannot stand her. Like I cannot stand the sound of her freaking voice. She's
How
nasty.
many seats are going to be gained from that redistricting? Was it 6 or more than that?
Potentially, it could be 6. It depends on how they draw the map. Remember, the map got redrawn because they
Right.
got a special master, and we know that the court, obviously, and this is why courts matter. We got the judges that we needed to be able to make sure that this does not go back to get redrawn and to a special master. So yeah, I mean, if there's 6 seats that can be gained from it, great. But it all depends on how they configure the maps,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a good thing. And people need to remember that there is a primary next month. Well, actually, it's February now. There is a primary this month in a couple of weeks for George Santos' seat. So if you're in New York and you are in that district, I think it's New York 3, then you need to make sure you vote for Tom Suozzi.
Yep.
My mom says she's getting killed with ads because his district is in Queens and Long Island, and actually my uncle's district that's actually my uncle's district. And she said, Tiff, the ads are insane. Like they are spending a ton of money. And you know what the focus of the ads are? Take a guess what the focus of the ads are.
Trump?
Nope.
Or
Immigration.
really?
Yes. All of the even Tom Suozzi's ads are about immigration. This is a big issue in New York right now. It's a really big issue.
Shoot.
Because they're saying that basically it's like what is it, MS-13? They're like throwing all this red meat out there.
Oh yeah. My mom's
Tom
in Jersey.
Tom Suozzi was in the Congress. He did X, Y, and Z and voted against these bills. And then Tom Suozzi saying, well, I voted for all these bills, to protect immigration and my, from migrants coming, and I've prosecuted, like, there's all this stuff. It's all surrounding immigration. It's so crazy. This is going to be the topic of the year, honestly.
We'll see how that goes, because I mean that seat will have broader implications as far as what's going to happen. It's going to basically set the tone for the
it will, because if Tom Suozzi wins, then once again we prove that Democrats can beat Republicans in a Republican district, which was before that a Democrat district, but Tom Suozzi ran for governor, gave up the seat, and then George Santos won. And we know also that part of Long Island, which is Nassau County, has gone more red. So what happens in this election makes a really big difference in, like you said, in setting the tone for this year, because that would be the first one in 2024 that we have as a congressional primary. If Tom Suozzi wins, which I think he will, not by a lot, but I think he will win, it'll set a great tone. When is that race? Is it the 9th? I don't even know. Yeah, the 9th. So next week. Hold on. Yeah, is it this week? No, it can't be this week. 23rd, maybe. Check it for me. My calendar's off. I don't know. Oh, I'm still in January, so maybe the 3rd.
Wait, when is the race?
I don't know. I can't remember the date. It's sometime this month, I want to say.
What district is it?
I think it's 3, New York 3. I'm not sure what day it is. It's on a Tuesday though. I know Isaiah was there today. He was helping out with going door to door canvassing.
Let's see. Democratic Party events, congressional district election, June 25th. When is the primary though?
Yeah, this is the special election, so you might be on the 2024.
Okay, yeah.
It's this month, so if you find it, you find it. But that is going to be a big deal. The 16th, maybe. Yeah, it's either the 6th. Well, it's a Tuesday, I think. So 13th, 20th, or 27th.
February 13th.
The 13th.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Tuesday. So that's 2 weeks from now. Damn it.
Yeah.
I mean, is it 2 weeks?
Yeah, a week and a half.
Yeah, that's coming up really, really close. So if you want to help Suozzi make phone calls or text bank for him, thank you to the person who brown eyes for the date, and Isaiah as well. But yeah, it's coming up fast. Everything is going to start going faster and faster. So Nevada's coming up. Then we have this race. Then we have a couple more. There's not really anything else from a Democratic primary standpoint. I think the next one is Super Tuesday, I think, after Nevada, since they changed the map. And then it's like back to back to back to back. So hopefully Joe Biden wins big on Super Tuesday, and he will. And then we will have our nominee pretty quickly. But yeah, I mean, this is where we're at. And
So before we go, do we want to talk about how MAGA is now the open borders party? Because that seems to always go really well with the people who follow MAGA.
I was going to bring it up earlier, but the convoy, Lord, the convoy is crazy. Did you see the video of the lady crying? I know you had to have seen the video of the lady.
No.
There's a video of a lady crying, and she's like, these people lied to us. Like, she's like crying. There's a car in the back. I don't know. She's like bawling out. It's like when it went viral. They had a baptism at the border. There's so much happening with these people. There was one guy, I saw it earlier, that some guy who's a pedophile came to the border, and the other people don't like him. I guess he's like a known person, and they went to his car and was cursing him out and telling him, "You gotta get out of here. We didn't drive all this way for you to be." Like, they're infighting. Like, they are going
Oh,
in.
wow.
Then I saw on MSNBC, a lady was being interviewed, and the woman asked her who was interviewing, like, "Hey, what did you see when you came? Are you still into this? Like, are you shocked at what?" She's like, "Well, I really haven't seen that much." So you came all the way, all those hours to this freaking border to see literally nothing at all. There's no activity happening at this time.
And I'm still trying to figure out how the border is in such dire need of attention, or it was for the past 3 years. But now all of a sudden, they're like, you know what? We can wait. We can wait a year. We can wait a whole year until Donald Trump is sworn in.
But let's be clear about this. If the people, oh God, this is so stupid. This is like 2.5 miles of the border. Okay, there's tons of border that people can go to be able to, obviously get processed, and people walk through areas. They don't have to come through here. They don't have to go through that Eagle, whatever rock or whatever the hell it's called, park. They could go somewhere else. The coyotes are not stupid. They are not going to have people go through this area knowing that the National Guard is there. They will go through another passing. What are you people stupid? Like, it is so ridiculous.
And I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, so Republicans and Democrats basically shook hands on this deal last Sunday, where we've yet to see a bill, right? But from our understanding, it is basically almost everything that Republicans have asked for a long time on the border. Like, they were pretty strict about making sure that they hold Ukraine funding hostage, unless the policy addressing the border was changed. Joe Biden was like, "Okay, you guys get together, give me the bill. This is what I want. Let's do it. This is basically what you guys have been asking for. Let's get it done." And now they want to turn their back on it. Why would they do that? And I guess, like, my question now is, doesn't that make them pro open borders if they're willing to let it just go for the next year and not address the issue after they spent a whole 3 years complaining about it? And by the way, for the MAGA folks that are in here that are saying, well, Joe Biden can go ahead and just sign an executive order. No, he can't, because this is actually addressing the policy, because this was asked for by Republicans. And again, the reason why we have Ukrainian funding tied in with border security is because they asked for it, because they said, we are not going to go ahead and keep funding Ukraine unless there are substantive changes made to the policy with respect to border security. So now we're doing that. and they basically got what they asked for, and they cannot take a win. They cannot take a win. I mean,
They don't want to
I
win. They want Biden to lose. This is a strategy. This is not what they want. They don't care if they could literally get 80% of what they want and they will not sign it because they know that 20% will help Joe Biden. Like this is craziness, but this is how they operate. It doesn't make any sense to a logical person, but they do want open borders because about a talking point. They can say, well, Joe Biden has open borders and he
why is the accent?
because you know what the accent is. It's always the accent. Joe
You should have
Biden.
given yourself a missing tooth or something.
Yes, I am. Joe Biden. He has open borders, and Joe Biden didn't do an executive order. First of all, Joe Biden has done 535. Yes, I have facts. 535 executive actions on the border. Okay, on immigration policy. Y'all don't want to hear the facts. Y'all want to
Jeff Cover says that's racism. No, it's not racism. We're stereotyping. This is racism. There's a difference.
I have accents for all kinds of people, so yeah.
But
it doesn't matter. It's like this is the logic that these people have, that they are going to sacrifice what they believe in order to elect the person that they think should have the job. How does that help anyone? The people.
But we were all awake for the past 3 years, so I don't understand. I get the play. I understand, but I also don't understand because they were so effective at drilling the message home that the border is in crisis and that it needs to be addressed. So now they have something on their lap to address the border they were saying is in dire condition and it needs to be addressed. It's not like this was like a small issue. It's not like this was something that, kind of flew under the radar, that we were like, oh, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Like they were everywhere promoting the heck out of this dangerous border, out of this porous border. And now
did you see did you see Mike Johnson today said that they're willing now to decouple the border security bill with the Israel funding bill?
No, they're the ones that wanted it together.
Yes, they wanted it together, but today they decided that it is in their best interest because of everything that is happening with after what happened in Jordan and the Houthis or whatever. They decided that it is in the best interest for us to now pass this bill and be able to give Israel funding. I am a political person. I know what they're trying to do. I will not tell you what they're trying to do on here, but I can see what they're playing politics with funding.
And on that note, I think we're about to hit the top of the hour, so I think it's a good time to wrap it up and say good night. Anything that we're looking forward to this week?
Nevada is on Tuesday, so that will be interesting to see how the Latino vote turns out in Nevada. I always say it wrong. I don't know if it's Nevada or Nevada. I think it's both.
I think it's Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada.
I think.
So we have that, and then I'm trying to think if there's anything else happening this week. Well, there's, like I said, the Congress is going to try to pass that bill for Israel this week. We still haven't seen the verbiage for the plan or whatever you want to call it for the border bill. We still haven't seen that. It's been hush hush secret for 3 whole weeks now.
I thought we were supposed to get it no later than tomorrow. That's what Chuck Schumer said.
Oh, he did? Okay, I didn't hear Chuck Schumer say that. Okay, so we'll get it maybe tomorrow on the Sunday shows. And tomorrow's the Grammys, I believe, so that'll be fun. And then we have Super Bowl next week on Sunday. So I don't know if we want to do this on Sunday next week either. We might do it a different day since the Super Bowl will be on. I don't know. We'll see.
When is the fraud trial gonna render a decision?
Oh, to Judge Ed Rogen, I think that's how you say his name. He said he said in a couple of weeks because
Oh,
there
he said he would try to rule by January 31st.
yeah, but he
Okay.
couldn't because there's an issue
Oh,
with
okay.
Weisselberger. You know the names. I don't know the names of the Trump people, but
Weisselberg, yeah, Alan
yeah,
Weisselberg.
I think there's some discussion about something that has to do with him that's
A
up for.
perjury charge.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
something that
shit.
has to do with that. So we may get that this week. We may not get that this week. We will see. There's so much happening. This is why we have to do
That
these moves because I can't keep up with stuff. And I
Same
do,
here.
but sometimes you tell me stuff that's going on that I don't know, and I tell you stuff that's going on that you don't know. So,
And I have I have 107-page document here, and I forgot everything. I can only remember
yeah,
like the top
I
two
have
things
this
that I
on
wrote.
the economy, and that's it. Everything else is in my head.
Yep.
How? I don't know.
All right. Well, on that note, you know what? I never really told people to follow us or anything. Bad
You
host,
didn't, and
bad.
we did not get a lot of likes today, but it's all good. We didn't
Yeah,
get
because I didn't tell people to
you
get.
didn't tell them to to tap it 2 times.
Yeah, like I didn't tell them to hit me hard with those two fingers. I didn't tell them
Yes.
like let's open this up wide and let's get more likes on here, but that'll be for next time. So. All
All
right,
right.
everyone.
Good
Have a
night.
good night, Tiff. It was a pleasure again. Always love talking to you. Thanks again, everyone, for liking, for following, even though we didn't tell you to do that. But I appreciate it, and Tiff appreciates it. We'll see you guys next week. We'll definitely be on Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern. Have a good night
Yeah,
and a good week,
Super
everyone.
Bowl, Super Bowl be damned. But I'm telling you right now, when Usher comes on, if Usher comes on at 9:30, we're gonna be late because I gotta watch Usher. That's the
Okay.
only thing.
All
I
right.
don't know.
It's a
He
deal.
should come on. He should be on like 8 something halftime. All right, talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, Tiff.